If you have a 9 to 12-year-old who plays scared, who lets one mistake affect their whole game, who trains well but in matches or trials they freeze, you need to watch this, because I'm going to show you what actually builds confidence in young players. Not with pep talks or cheap motivational quotes, but with real actionable advice. I guess you probably already tried different approaches, maybe trying to pump them up before the game. Tell them how great they are. Maybe being more logical and explaining what's at stake and that they need to perform. It maybe works for 5 minutes, but they step on the pitch and then nothing. Same old story. Maybe it works for a week, for a couple of days, but then it lacks consistency. They hide, they play safe, they avoid contact. And you sit there wondering, why can't they just play the way they train? But here's what's happening. Your child doesn't lack talent, they might lack the mental tools to help them handle pressure. And you can't fix that with pep talks or cheap motivational quotes. You need a system. Because confidence isn't something they either have or don't have. It's something you build step by step, like a skill. I'm going to walk you through 4 key points to understand and improve confidence in 9 to 12-year-olds. And at number 3, I'm going to tell you one mistake that many parents make that ruins all the good work, even when they think they're being supportive. Hi, I'm Diego, a mindset coach and creator of the Confident Footballer program. A mindset program for young players who want to play with confidence under pressure. First, let's define what confidence is. Confidence is the belief that a person has the skills to execute a task. In plain English, your child believes they can play at the level they are. Not a feeling, a belief. Now, think about your child for a second. Training against their mates, do they look confident? Probably. Why? Because they believe they have the skills to handle that challenge. Now put them in a match, a trial, a tournament, or even a session with high-level players, and suddenly that belief disappears. Why? Because now the challenge feels too big. Am I good enough? This is the relationship between skill and challenge. Too much challenge, not enough skill, anxiety. Too much skill, not enough challenge, boredom. So the first step is to understand and reflect, is my child playing at the right level? If the answer is no, you need to find environments at the level your child is at to build that confidence. Only challenge can actually demean their confidence and not push them forward. But what if they are at the right level, they can play at that level, but they're still not confident? Let's go to point number 2. Now, if your child's ability matches the level of challenge, but they are still having avoidant behavior, very likely that's because they're playing for approval. When they step on the pitch, they want to impress you, they want to impress the coach, they want to impress their teammates. They're not playing to improve, they're not playing to enjoy themselves, they're playing to impress other people. That can be quite natural at this age. Kids are developing socially, finding themselves in their groups. They're asking the question, do I belong in this group? And football can be ruthless. From a very early age, we are putting kids into brackets. You are academy, you are grassroots, you are at that level. Kids can sense that. But here's what happens when kids play for approval. They start playing to avoid failure rather than express themselves. It's a defensive mechanism that the brain creates to avoid disappointing people. And they go into avoidance mode. They stop wanting the ball, they hide from the game. When they have it, they only play safe. They avoid challenges because they're avoiding failure at all costs. And this is exhausting. It's exhausting for them to play to please others. It's exhausting for you to watch them be a shadow of themselves. So ask yourself this question. Is my child playing for approval or to get better and enjoy themselves? Because if it's for approval, it's draining their confidence, even when the skills are there. And that brings us to point number 3, and this is where a lot of parents make things worse, is don't let your child swing too high on the highs and too low on the lows. This is what I mean. After a great game, you are amazing, you are fantastic, you're the best player in the team, you're a superstar. Look at what you can do on a good day. But after a bad performance, disappointment, silence, telling them off, replaying every mistake on the way home. And what message does your child internalize? Good game, I'm valuable. Bad game, I'm worthless. This is also exhausting. It destroys consistency. And now they are in an emotional roller coaster. 1 week they're flying, next week they're at the bottom of their game, and they never know which version of themselves is going to show up. Instead, find a more balanced approach. After a great game, acknowledge it, but focus on the behaviors that they had to achieve that. I love how hard you worked. I love how brave you were to ask for the ball. After a bad game, keep perspective. Remind them that a bad performance doesn't define them. Again, focus on the behaviors they did. Even in a bad day, there's things you can find. I love how you tried to get the ball back. I love how you didn't give up when things went wrong. Help them stay steady, because steady players are confident players. And the 4th point is that your child needs strategy. Think about it this way. If your child wanted to improve their shooting, what would you do? They work on a technique, they would have drills, you'll probably pay for a one-to-one coach to support them in that journey. And they'll have lots of repetition. Confidence is exactly the same. You can't just hope they'll figure it out. You need a framework that can help them and support them in that journey. A process they can use before, during, and after games. Something that helps them manage nerves before kickoff or deal with setbacks in the game. It helps them reflect and keep data so they can improve. A proper framework, and it gives you the knowledge to best support them as well. And you can enjoy hundreds of players all over the world that are part of the Confident Footballer program. If you want to learn more, just check the link in the description that is going to send you to our website and you can understand how the Confident Footballer is delivered. And before you go, here's a quick summary to help your child play with confidence. 1. Confidence is a belief that can be trained with the right process. 2. If your child has the skills to play at the level they're playing, very likely they're playing for approval. 3. Don't go too high on the highs and don't go too low on the lows. And 4. You need a system and we can provide that in a Confident Footballer. If you like this content, don't forget to like, subscribe and activate the notifications